everyone's got their routine for nationals. I'm sure you also, what's your basic approach to trying to do what you've done before?
Just warm up and then go wrestle. Otherwise, I'm just thinking about everything else. So it's like the whole up there most watching like investing videos and perhaps it's just like get my mind out of it. It's anything too crazy. I just like to enjoy that time of year. See the activities on.
Any golfing since the last press conference?
I haven't actually had made the contact. So just leave it. So I'll probably pick up the golfing afterwards. I think Coach Smith might appreciate that too.
What would a third straight national championship mean to you?
I think it would mean that a lot of my work has paid off. I think it would be cool. But then again, I'm trying to chase things a lot higher than just a national title. It's just where we're going. It's a tournament. I have a lot to improve on from my Big 12 performance. I didn't necessarily think I wrestled the greatest. So it's another opportunity to make adjustments and get better.
What is kind of that mindset for someone like yourself that, you know, you have achieved twice before the pinnacle of your sport at this level? And, you know, how do you go about challenging yourself with new goals and continuing to motivate yourself?
I think it's just the striving for not perfection, but striving to make improvement. Like if you focus based on, I want to win this and I'm good. I want to get this and I'm good. I don't think that's a very good indicator of how you can develop as a person, both in and out of the sport. It's like same thing with business. Like, all right, I hit $1 million and then I'll be happy. I hit 2 million and then I'll be set. It's like, how can I make my business better? How can I be more efficient? And I think that's kind of where I'm at right now, because I don't care if I win another wrestling match my entire life. I just want to enjoy it and I want to improve every day.
So the route to number 3 goes through David Carrigan. Can you just talk about sort of the significance of that matchup over the course of your career and what it would be like to, you know, potentially go up against him again?
Yeah, it's kind of rare that you get to wrestle someone that caliber 4 times. And so, you know, we're kind of even right now. And hopefully we'll wrestle again. I'm just looking forward to trying to make adjustments. He did a really good job specifically of keeping me off of his legs. And so that's something that I need to go back and I've been evaluating and how I need to get to more of my offense.
Do you call that a rivalry between you and him?
I mean, I would say so because he's beaten me and I've beaten him. It's kind of hard to call it a rivalry when you've beaten him every time, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's like the top 4 guys in my Big 12 bracket, I've literally wrestled 4 times each just in college. So I guess you could consider all those rivalries. I've wrestled those dudes just as much.
Speaking of people that you've wrestled outside of college, number 2 seed in the bracket, Mitchell Messenger is what you went to high school with. Can you talk about your relationship with him and what it could mean to potentially face him in the finals if you both advance as the bracket seeds?
Man, Arrowhead wrestling is pretty darn good. That means if you're wrestling the finals. Yeah, I mean, his dad was my coach growing up. Like John Messenbrink and Ben Askren, they ran that club. And in 2012, when I went there right after they opened, I mean, I've been under his tutelage for, gosh, over a decade, I guess you could say. And so, I mean, I grew up with him, and it'd be kind of weird wrestling him. Obviously, you wrestle with the teammates. It's gonna be weird in a ring match, but it's no different. I mean, 2 years ago or 3 years ago, when we dueled the Air Force here, I wrestled one of my best friends, Jack Yanos, and that was kind of weird. But at the same time, I think it makes everyone back home really proud that you have 2 athletes going to Division I schools and wrestling each other, on the biggest stage in the NCAA. So it'll be fun. Obviously, I've wrestled with him a lot growing up. Like we worked out a ton. We haven't worked out like a ton recently. So it would just be another match.
And then, Rocky, would you be able to talk a little bit about the significance of wrestling in your hometown for the NCAA championships?
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. I know there's going to be a lot of people that are close to me out there. So, and that's, the reason I wrestle. One of the main reasons I wrestle is for the people surrounding me. So there's nothing better than having the people I do it for come watch me and it be in my hometown.
If you talk to any, whether it be Coach Smith or maybe some of the past guys that are still active in the program, you had someone like Jacob who wrestled in St. Louis twice. kind of what's some of the advice you've gotten about compartmentalizing or dealing with all the extra that comes with that?
Yeah, just staying focused for the days that we have. I mean, I'm gonna have so much time to spend with my family and my friends after the event. So just staying locked in for the 72 hours we have of the tournament. And just like went to St. Louis my first year, so I had my family there as well. And had my family there every time I've been at the national tournament, fortunately. So it's really nothing new. Just more friends that are gonna be there.
What's the key to, I mean, that is a wild atmosphere in that building, especially the first couple of days with everything that's going on and 18,000 people and 8 mats and everything. What are the best ways to stay focused on what you're doing in that atmosphere?
That's a good question. There's nothing like wrestling the national tournament. I'm just super thankful every time I get to go because it's something that I don't want to ever take for granted. There's guys on our team that may never be able to go to the national tournament. And just every time I get the opportunity to go, I just really enjoy the atmosphere because there's just nothing like it. Even wrestling overseas a couple of times, there's nothing like wrestling national tournament.
What's it like? I mean, when you guys are at home and on the road, the crowd can be a mix of wrestling fans and new fans. That group, that's a lot of the same people. They come back and they know the sport really well. Is the crowd a little different at nationals because of that dynamic?
I would say so. I mean, I guess just the amount of people is the biggest thing, but I don't know, something about the atmosphere, something crazy happens, the crowd goes nuts, you don't even know what's going on. And it's just, it's fun. It's everything you've trained for and it's just kind of, everything you've been training for the past 6 months and beyond. And it's really exciting.
Colton, obviously, you've been wrestling Will Feldkamp a lot recently. I think that's the 3 times in a month or less. Can you talk about what it's like to wrestle so many times over such a short amount of time?
I guess I know that when I'm wrestling somebody specifically multiple times, it's going to be different every time. They're going to be changing what they're coming out with. I knew he wasn't going to come out trying to go upper body with me as much. I mean, he still tried to, but that was kind of stupid of him. I guess I just stuck to what I do right and just kept going. About it.
You had said in our interview, after your loss, I believe it was 2 years ago, I think you said that guy's not that good. Any change in your opinion after the past couple weeks?
No, I just knew I had it in me, and just had to do what I do right. Not go out there with the wrong mindset of being wrestling a close match or wrestling tight. Just come out there and score points.
Keegan, we all in the chat, right? So after your rematch against Colorado, you kind of talked about the mutual respect between the two of you. So how do you hope that the respect and the friendship between the two of you kind of shapes how younger wrestlers view wrestling, especially those who focus more on hardware and success?
I think it's a great example to show how you can be warriors and battle extremely hard and wrestle on the biggest of stages and then walk off the mat and know that, man, I wish I would won or I'm glad I won, but ultimately the sun's going to come up the next day. Your life is going to go on. You're going to go to school. You're going to have to do a lot of other things to your life. I mean, there's so much going on outside of wrestling for me right now that sometimes like wrestling is just a fraction of what I think about. And so I think it's just a good example to show that even at the highest level of wrestling, it's not everything. And that once you can separate your value from wrestling and how you are successful or not successful, I think you're going to start to enjoy it a lot more.
Has that mindset changed, since maybe before you won a national title, you've been able to sort of develop that more appreciation for everything else outside of wrestling?
I think I did a really bad job of that growing up and like in high school. Like I think I really did tie my performance to, I guess, what I was worth. And the only thing that really changed that was just digging into my faith more, like knowing that everything I'm already going to do in my entire life is already written, and really believing that and trusting in that process and that the Lord has a different purpose for me and things go my way and what I want, that's just how it's going to go. The only thing I can do is work, do my work as good as I can, and just serve and love the people around me. And that's really given me a lot of peace, especially wrestling in the highest level of competition, because it can bring out a lot of stress, anxiety, and overthinking and self-doubt.
Colton, you faced Kane in the first round this year. Do you remember your match last year against him? What that was like?
Yeah, I actually wrestled him at U20s the prior year or 2 years before that, but I remember knowing that what I did worked well against him, and we were actually flipped seats last year, so that was pretty funny that we came in like this. But yeah, I'm just gonna go out there and do what I do best and keep my head in the fight. Just 4 more points.
Colton, with this being your second tournament, how do you what do you say to the guys who was this their first tournament, with that being so recent for you? How do you kind of pass on that leadership?
Yeah, I think number one takeaway I have going into a big tournament like this is every match starts out 0-0, and it's just another wrestling match. I mean, every wrestling match is the exact same. It's a circle, and there's always upsets. You just gotta look to be the best wrestler that day, you know.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
You know.